So cheers. Thanks for a great way to spend the afternoon.
Thank you.
Totally beats the office.
I do this for a living, you know, and it's still,
this is your office,
and it never, honestly, it almost never gets old for me. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I'm liking Ann Arbor. I mean, the food here is unnecessarily good.
There's a lot of energy in this town around food,
But it's a college town. Pardon my ignorance. I hate to sound like an old fart, but don't college students eat like, you know, spam and, you know, Cheese Whiz?
Yeah, I mean, they eat a lot of that, but you know, we've got a lot of great late night diners. There's a great place in here that serves a fantastic hamburger with kimchi, which is one of the best cheeseburgers I've ever eaten in my life.
That's a tectonic shift in dining that, you know, the college kids are eating smells. I mean, that's so cool.
Well, but you know, let's talk about that a little bit, because one of the things, I want to talk about your book today too, Medium Raw. And it's interesting because the food culture has changed a lot. Oh, goodness, speaking of smelts, is that...
let me answer that with a
camera?
smelt in my mouth.
Lake Michigan smelt for you.
Oh.
All right, well, we have to have one of these while they're hot, right? And
Yeah,
then
you
we can
eat
talk
and
about the book.
Sure.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
A book? What book? All right.
Medium Raw, your new book. You know, but the food scene has changed a lot. The thing that I find that's interesting is you are, I would say, vehemently disliking the Food Network, and definitely speak a lot of that in the book. But do you think that they've done anything good for our culture in terms of bringing people to food?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to admit it. I mean, but certainly Food Network raised expectations for the meal. I think the most important thing they did is they made people care about chefs. No one really cared. I mean, we were a lower order. We were service personnel. No one wanted to know who was in the kitchen, and certainly no one cared what the chef thought. Once they learned to care about people like Mario and Emeril, that marked an important shift in the status of chefs. So by empowering chefs or helping to empower chefs, they changed the whole dynamic of walking in a restaurant. Dining has become an entertainment form now. I mean, people don't talk about movies while they're eating dinner anymore. They don't talk about books anymore or music. They talk about what they're going to eat. They just ate or what they're about to eat while they're eating. That's a very European attitude.
Guilty. Yeah, guilty of that.
So that's a big change. And they're more likely to be interested in what the chef thinks they should eat rather than walking into the restaurant and saying, I'll have this, I want salmon. Do you have salmon? I want salmon, and this is the way I want it. Nowadays, it's like, okay, I've never had that before, but, you know, Emeril says it's good. Maybe I'll try it. So even at its worst and stupidest, and it frequently is stupid, Food Network has been both good for America and good for the restaurant business and chefs, and quite frankly, good to me, because without them, who could I make fun of?